A small act of kindness, a lifetime of gratitude. Sometimes you don't need to do something big to change someone's life. Sometimes, all it takes is one small act of kindness. This is the story of Daniel, a man who once gave his last meal to a hungry stranger. He had no idea that one small act would come back to change his entire life. Daniel worked in a small bakery in London. He didn't earn much money. After paying his rent and bills, there was barely anything left. One cold, rainy evening, Daniel was getting ready to close the bakery. That's when he noticed an elderly man standing outside. His clothes were soaked, his shoes were worn out, and he was staring through the bakery window at the warm bread inside. Daniel opened the door. "Sir, are you all right?" The old man smiled weakly. "I'm all right, son. I'm just a little hungry." Daniel looked at the counter. There was only one sandwich and one cup of coffee left. The sandwich was supposed to be his dinner. He had nothing else waiting for him at home. But Daniel picked up the sandwich and placed it in the old man's hands. "Here, please take it." The old man looked at him with tears in his eyes. "I don't have any money, son." Daniel smiled. "You don't need any." Then he handed him the coffee too. The old man whispered, "I'll never forget what you've done for me." Daniel simply smiled. "Just say a prayer for me." The next morning, Daniel arrived at the bakery as usual. But something was different. His manager called him over. "Daniel, I need to speak with you." Daniel immediately worried that he had done something wrong. But his manager placed an envelope on the counter. "Do you remember the old man you helped last night?" Daniel looked confused. "How do you know about him?" His manager pointed towards the envelope. "This is for you." Daniel opened it. Inside was a short note. It said, "When someone has nothing, even the smallest kindness can mean everything." Undern. When someone has nothing, even the smallest kindness can mean everything. Underneath the message was an address. Daniel had no idea what it meant, but he decided to go. When he arrived at the address, he found himself standing outside a large office. The receptionist already knew his name. A few moments later, Daniel was taken into a private room, and there he was, the same old man from the night before. But this time, he was wearing an expensive suit. Daniel stared at him in disbelief. "Sir, you." The man smiled. "My name is William Carter." Daniel didn't know what to say. "Why did you bring me here?" William took a deep breath. "A few months ago, I lost almost everything. My business was going through a terrible crisis. I was alone, frightened, and I had nowhere to go. That night, I honestly believed nobody cared about me." Then William looked directly into Daniel's eyes. "But you helped me. You didn't ask who I was. You didn't ask whether I could pay you back. You simply saw a hungry man and gave him your last meal." William placed a file on the table. "I want you to work for my company." Daniel shook his head. "But sir, I don't have the experience." William smiled. "Experience can be taught. But kindness comes from the heart." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. Years later, Daniel became a successful manager. But he never forgot that rainy night. Every Friday, he would leave sandwiches and hot coffee outside the same bakery. Beside them, he would place a little note. "If you cannot pay today, don't worry. Just help someone else tomorrow." Because Daniel had learned something that changed his life forever. A small act of kindness is never truly lost. Sometimes, comes back as a blessing. Sometimes, comes back as a person. And sometimes, it comes back as a lifetime of gratitude.